Junfang Kung Fu is an established system of progression, but Jeet Kune Do was Bruce Lee's own personal martial art. It was based on his investigation, his creativity, his research. So in order to go into Jeet Kune Do, we have to understand his investigation, his research, his experiment. But the base system before we can even get to that stage is Junfang Kung Fu. So this tape here will show you the basics as taught to me by Bruce Lee during the 1964 to 1971 era. And I hope you enjoy it, and I hope this will bring insight into Bruce Lee's system, because it's important that you have the two parts, the basic material that he taught in the Junfang Kung Fu, and then to find your own particular Jeet Kune Do, which, as you said before, it can be taught Jeet Kune Do, but it really cannot be standardized because it has to be tailor-made like a coat. Everyone cannot fit into a size 38 coat. Some will fit into a 42, some will fit into a 36. But every man has to tailor the system or the material that you're given. Okay, thank you very much. Junfang is the base system. It has curriculum in it. It has a definite pattern. Jeet Kune Do really is it stems off of Junfang Kung Fu. He wanted you to have the base in Junfang Kung Fu. And Jeet Kune Do was really Bruce Lee's personal system. And as I tell people before, it can be taught, but you would be losing it if you started to standardize it, because everyone is individual. Things that Bruce Lee did, and this is what people don't realize, what he did, a lot of people can't do. Like, he could really shell-shock a person with his lead jab. A lot of people can't now. We could score with that. We could put the guy off balance with it. We might even hurt him, but we can't take a man out. He had tremendous power, and we don't have that, you know. He had speed that it flabbergasted me. You know, I was a conference champion in my college, and he used to catch me like I was just in slow motion. It was like a bad dream. I've never met anybody explosive as him. I've never met anybody as fast as him. And there will be people that will surpass him maybe in speed, but maybe in totality, probably not. Because he's a rare individual, and probably when God made him, he threw them all away. Intelligent. A lot of fighters not intelligent. They're just gutsy. But he was gutsy, you know. He knew the direction in which he wanted to do it purposely. He just knew the direction when he was creating this. And it was created for him. But Junfang Kung Fu, we have to learn how to take the system and make it for ourselves. And I would say that a lot of people were saying, well, the most common comment I hear is that, well, Danny Inosanto has muddied the waters of Jeet Kune Do because he teaches other arts. But to me, you know, I try to teach Jeet Kune Do and Junfang Kung Fu exactly the way Sifu Bruce Lee taught me. However, I love to train in the other arts. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you like classical music, you should be able to go into pop. You should be able to go into Western music. You should be able to go into hip-hop or whatever you like. I don't know what you like. And I don't think there's anything wrong in liking classical music and pop music or Western or jazz or whatever. I think that's a person should be able to do that. But I know I'm criticized for that because people want to just frame me in one particular way. I don't know what the deal is, but I think it's important to grow, and you don't grow unless you go out of the confines of security. It's easy to stay in one system and do it exactly that way. It's a little bit more daring and sometimes kind of fearful to go in areas where you're not familiar or to tread on waters that you're not familiar with. But that's where growth comes. As he said, it's from the old that we get the security. It is from the new that we grow, and I think it's important. In any new situation, you're going to grow. It utilizes, Jeet Kune Do is supposed to utilize many forms. That's why it can fit in with many forms, or many methods of systems or styles, or whatever you want to call it. You need to go and beyond. In other words, it would be like, okay, I eat Italian food. I like it, and it is good, and that's all I'm going to eat. And that's okay, too. But you should maybe eat something else beside Italian food, no matter how good it is. Maybe that's a poor analogy, but
I believe that you need to, be more well-rounded than to stay in that time frame. And if you don't, like a lot of people say, well, let's not expand this. And then there's people, if you want to, they'll say, I study Aikido, I study Jiu-Jitsu, I study Karate, I study Taekwondo. I'll put it together and I'll call it Jeet Kune Do. Is it Jeet Kune Do? It's Jeet Kune Do for them. But it is not the Jeet Kune Do of Bruce Lee, because the Jeet Kune Do of Bruce Lee has the Jun Fan Gung Fu material in the beginning. And then from there, they're supposed to grow and expand. That is Jeet Kune Do, and it is different for every individual. So I would say that if you did that, put Karate and Aikido and Taekwondo and maybe wrestling, that could be your Jeet Kune Do. That's correct. But it is not the Jeet Kune Do as devised or created by Bruce Lee, because when you say you have the Jun Fan, what he thought were the basics, important, and then expand and find your own Jeet Kune Do.
I don't think anyone has all the eggs in the basket where they can say they're the best at this, the best at this. So you kind of learn from everybody. Just like when you go to school, not one professor has all the knowledge. That's why they have departments. Department of Social Studies, Department of Science, Department of Math, Department, whatever department they have in the colleges. So you're going to learn from a variety of different people. Then you're going to have your specialty. But it's good to learn other fields of expertise from different people.
What should martial arts instructors and practitioners be doing to increase participation in martial arts?
I think just researching, investigating, whether you practice that or not, you should be aware of that martial art does exist, and to evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of that particular system, and to learn something about that particular system, even though you don't excel maybe in their type of movements. And if you do that, you get a deeper appreciation. Military, they call it intel. You know your strengths and weaknesses of your own army, but you got to know what other things are out with other armies out there. So you pretty much want to be educated in all lines, just not in what you can do. Like the Sung Ji, they say that some people are intelligent in knowing themselves, but not intelligent in knowing the strengths and weaknesses of other systems or other nations, depending, okay, and vice versa. Some people are intelligent in knowing others, but they don't realize their own capabilities. And the Sung Ji says, both cannot win the battle. But if you understand yourself and you understand different types of opponents or different types of strategies, then in 100 battles, the Sung Ji says that you will not be in jeopardy or in peril, as they said, from understanding that. It's like your personal CD collection or DVD collection. You can say, well, I like these 10 pictures. Another guy says, I don't like any of those 10. So he has his own favorite 10, whether it's a CD collection or DVD collection. I call it your iPod collection. Everybody has an iPod collection, but the music or whatever you put on it is different in every iPod. Each guy thinks he has the things that pleases him. That's martial art. I have friends in Kempo Karate, which is one of the systems I study, man. They won't look at another art. I have friends and instructors, in shoot wrestling that possibly might not look at other arts. I have friends and teachers in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that they can see the value of learning other arts. Others might not see it, because we can get caught up in our own thing. Sometimes you're into your own thing because of the first system you travel. If you start off in the Korean system, and more likely you will not look at a Japanese system. If you start on the Japanese system, you might not look at the Koreans. And if you start with the Okinawan system, he probably thinks he's superior to the Japanese and the Korean system. So you have these, and the Chinese might look down on all three, saying, we're into the internal arts, we're into the external arts. Everybody is into their own thing. You cannot tell a guy, say, well, you're in the wrong type of music. It's not in the jazz, it's in the Western music, or it's in the rock and roll music, or it's in the jazz music, right? So everyone has categories which they will go to, and it's not that one is better. That's what people like, and I think that's important for people to see. And then sometimes you come around after you hear, like, if you don't like country music, and then occasionally there's 2 or 3 songs that you like, so you might gravitate toward that. But your main thing might be jazz, it might be hip hop, it might be rhythm and blues, it could be anything. So you're going to go according to your like. And we go through the stages. If you go through
the way you think when you're 20 is different when you're 30, and definitely when you're 30, you think you know it all, but you're going to find out how really you weren't that smart when you were 30 when you hit 40. And by the time you get 50, you get pretty wise, but your body can't do anything. So you sharp up here, but sometimes you don't have the movements again. So you just kind of, you go with the flow, and you teach or share what you can share with. And some people they will like it, and there's going to be some people that are not going to like it. Like a musician, you know, he loves his craft, he loves what he's doing, but it's not going to please everybody.
I studied with Bruce Lee in 1964, and the style or the method, which many people call it, is not really Jeet Kune Do style. It's a concept. And in the concept, Bruce encourages to research many different arts, regardless of its country's origin, whether it's from Japan or China or Okinawa or Korea or Thailand or various different parts of the Orient, even Western arts. We were encouraged to look into it and find something that worked for us. So Jeet Kune Do, again, is not a style. It is a concept in which you're trying to utilize many different systems and styles and get the essence from it. Okay, let me explain again the Jeet Kune Do concept. First of all, Jeet Kune Do is not a style. It is not a product. It is a process in which we use different disciplines, whether it comes from Muay Thai or whether it comes from Zavat or Kali. If we have distance and if we have a weapon, we use weaponry, okay, because that is your greatest advantage, okay? Now, if you don't have a weapon, at different ranges, you can go from art to art. Out here, I could be kicking any system, northern system, southern system, Muay Thai, any position that you want, okay? You can do anything. That's kicking range. So whether you use Bando, Burmese boxing, or whether you use Muay Thai, or whether you use Savat, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's say that this person is standing here. At this point, for purpose of illustration, I might use what they call the sachet, okay, that they use in Savat, which is like that, see? When I come in, I can go into Wing Chun. At that point, I might flow into Western boxing, okay? At another point, I might go into a lock similar that you might use in Jiu-Jitsu, and for the purpose of camera, I'll take the person down like this and lock the person here, and maybe go into any system that employs this type of lock, whether it be Jiu-Jitsu or Aikido or Kali or Penjak Silat. Now, you notice that we went from system to system without a flow. Okay? I might stay out here, use any particular kick, break into Wing Chun range, and right from here, use a Muay Thai elbow. All right? And for the purpose of camera, I'm going to go slow and come into various lock position over here. Okay? This is what we call the Jeet Kune Do blend. It is not a system where we go from discipline to discipline without a thought process.
You see, actually, I do not teach, karate because I do not believe in styles anymore. I mean, I do not believe that there is such thing as like Chinese way of fighting or the Japanese way of fighting or whatever way of fighting, because unless human beings have 3 arms and 4 legs, we will have a different form of fighting. But basically, we have only 2 hands and 2 feet. So styles tends to not only separate man, because they have their own doctrines, and then the doctrine became the gospel truth, that you cannot change, But if you do not have styles, if you just say, well, here I am, as a human being, how can I express myself totally and completely? Now, that way, you won't create a style, because style is a crystallization, and I mean, that way, it's a process of continuing growth.